to the fullness of God and who He called us to be in Him. So I'm excited because yes, it is. This is your birthday month. You indeed, my gosh. October, I tell you, it seemed like September was a fleeting thought. That's how fast September has gone by, you know. And one thing that I want to say is that it's not our time, it's God's time. And I mean, God is almost like time is just fleeting. It's speeding up, it's going. And whew, whatever assignments God has given us, we've got to work on them. We got to get them going, you know, for this year.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Well, I mean, this year's almost gone. Yeah. But you have to think about our lives is like a blink of the Lord. You know, we're thinking, whatever age, you know, and it doesn't matter because it always can work with you.
That's
make
right.
a difference.
I want to say that what I'm excited about is, we're rolling into 2017.
Yes.
And this year, you know, start looking back on how we started the year and really saying we were going to put our family creed in place, or our family motto, whatever God has given us as a family to stand on according to His Word. And wrapping up with this year, what I see God dealing with my heart about more and more is relationships. And I talked about relationships going through the year, but it's in a facet today that I'm like, wow, Lord, you know, friendships we have to work on, you know, to maintain them. Other relationships we have to look at to make sure that we're doing what's necessary for them to be in place. It's like, what is happening with our relationships? Because we would go and not talk to a friend for months at a time. It would be almost 6 or 7 months, and we haven't heard from our friend. And then a year, don't let a year or two go by without talking to family members, cousins, friends, and loved ones. And we're looking and saying, what's going on? You know, I haven't heard from so-and-so. Well, what God is teaching me more and more, and I know this is just common courtesy and makes sense to some people, but what God is laying on my heart more and more is pick up the phone. Call them. If you haven't heard from them, maybe something's going on their end, and you may need to call them. And that's okay if you need to call them. And if you do, make a phone call. See how they're doing. I was just trying to see what was the call about. So, yeah. So, again, you know, when we think about friendships and family and things of that nature, and as God is dealing with my heart more and more as I'm rotating out of this year, it's really looking at friendships, relationships, your family dynamics. How are you all interacting? How are you all entwined with one another? Are you all encouraging each other? What's going on? That's what we got to look at and say, what's really going on here, Deb?
That is so true. That is so true. God has put people with us. You know, there's a time and a season. You know, everybody's not going to go with us to the end. But for a purpose, people are in our lives to make a difference, you know, to support us, you know. So that's the other thing I think about. You know, it don't mean to call your childhood friend and you and that person had played pranks on folks.
Exactly.
It means that wherever you are, you know, and with whomever God put in your life, you know, make sure you make that connection, you know.
And work on those relationships, those friendships.